Today we will talk about inside the luxury brand empire of LVMH. In 1984, Bernard Arnault learned that Christian Dior was for sale. Its parent company Boussac had filed for bankruptcy and the French government was looking for a buyer for the ailing textile empire that owned a number of companies, including Paris-based fashion house Dior. As the story goes, the then 35-year-old Arnault, who had spent the previous 10 years heading up the construction firm founded by his grandfather, took $15 million from his family. Combined it with $45 million from French financial institution Lazard Frères, and purchased Boussac in a quest to get his hands on the famed French fashion house. As the New York Times would write in December 1989, within 2 years of acquiring Boussac, Arnault had pushed the company into the black, laying off 9,000 workers. And selling off its disposable diaper division and most of its textile operations for $500 million. While that deal helped Arnault to leapfrog from his family's $15 million a year business to a company 20 times as large, and earned him the title of a force to reckon with in French business, an ever acquisition was to follow, his 1990 spree to gain control of Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. The merged fashion house and spirits company, in which Arnault first invested in the late 1980s. Since then, Arnault, now 71 years old and among the richest men in the world, according to Bloomberg's Running Billionaires list, has spent billions of dollars. And worked doggedly to amass no less than 70 luxury brands under the umbrella of the group that is now coined LVMH Moet Hennessy Louis Vuitton. Reflecting on his idea to put so many luxury brands, including those competing with each other, under one roof, Arnault told CNBC in 2018, "In the 90s, I had the idea of a luxury group. And at the time I was very much criticized for it. I remember people telling me it doesn't make sense to put together so many brands. And it was a success, and for the last 10 years now, every competitor is trying to imitate, which is very rewarding for us. I think they are not successful but they try." Emilio Pucci. The Italian company, which was founded in Florence in 1947, was acquired by LVMH in 2000. LVMH paid an undisclosed sum for a 67% ownership stake. LVMH acquired the remaining 33% stake from the Pucci family for an undisclosed sum in June 2021. Rossi Moda. The Italian fashion company was founded in 1977. LVMH took a minority stake in the company in 2000 and at a later date, acquired sole ownership. DKNY. In 2001, LVMH acquired an 89% stake in the New York-based brand, which was founded in 1984. LVMH sold the company to G3 Apparel Group in December 2016 for $650 million. Hermès. In 2001, LVMH acquired an initial stake in Hermès of 4.9% through subsidiaries and continued to accumulate shares in its Paris-based rival by buying equity derivatives through financial intermediaries and subsidiaries, with each keeping holdings below 5%. In October 2010, LVMH announced, to much surprise in the market, that it had acquired a cumulative 14.2% stake and in December 2011 announced that raised its stake in Hermès to 22.6%, and then to 23.1% as of 2013. Following the culmination of an investigation by the French financial services watchdog, Autorité des marchés financiers, which found that LVMH had secretly bought shares in rival Hermès to build a stake in the iconic design house, and not merely to make a financial investment as LVMH had claimed, and an intervention by a French court. LVMH announced that it would distribute its 23% stake in Hermès to its shareholders and institutional investors and agreed not to buy more shares in Hermès for the next 5 years. LVMH's shares in Hermès were fully distributed such that LVMH no longer held any Hermès shares as of December 31, 2015. Eden. Founded by Ali Hussein and Bono in 2005 to promote fair trade in Africa by sourcing production throughout the continent, the founders sold 49% of the company to LVMH in May 2009. In June 2018, LVMH divested its minority stake in the brand back to its founders. Moynat. Group Arnault. LVMH's CEO Bernard Arnault's holding company bought Moynat, the 19th-century trunk maker 5 years older than Louis Vuitton. Bulgari. Founded in 1884, the Italian jewelry brand was acquired by LVMH in an all-share deal for $6.01 billion, in which the Bulgari family sold their 50.4% controlling stake in exchange for 3% of LVMH. Loro Piana. LVMH acquired an 80% stake in the Italian luxury textile and ready-to-wear company, which was founded in 1924, in December 2013 for €2 billion. Nicholas Kirkwood. In 2013, LVMH acquired a 52% stake in the British footwear company, which was founded in 2004. In September 2020, Kirkwood announced that it will take back full ownership of its brand from LVMH in a transaction that would be completed by the end of 2020. J.W. Anderson. In addition to announcing that Jonathan Anderson would take the helm of Loewe, LVMH acquired a minority stake in Anderson's eponymous J.W. Anderson label for an undisclosed sum. Riposi. LVMH acquired a 41.7% stake in the family-run Italian jewelry brand in November 2015. It upped its stake in Riposi to 69% in 2019. Rimowa. LVMH acquired an 80% stake in the German luggage company, which was founded in 1989, for €640 million in October 2016. Christian Dior. LVMH technically acquired the Paris-based couture house in 2017 in a $13.1 billion deal. Prior to the deal, Groupe Arnault, which is the private holding company owned and controlled by Bernard Arnault, was the only declared major shareholder in Christian Dior SA. Jean Pateau. LVMH bought a majority stake in Jean Pateau, a French couture label that it says it will revive by relaunching its ready-to-wear clothing collections. LVMH bought the controlling stake from Britain's designer Parfum Limited. Fenty. LVMH officially launched a new label, Fenty, as part of a joint venture with musician Rihanna, who holds a 49.99% stake in the new label, while LVMH owns the majority 50.01%. In February 2021, LVMH announced that it would put the Fenty venture on hold indefinitely. Stella McCartney. LVMH entered into a joint venture with Stella McCartney as the brand ended its long-standing joint venture with rival conglomerate Kering. The terms of the parties' deal have not been disclosed, although it has been reported that Ms. McCartney remains the majority owner of her eponymous label. Tiffany & Company. On the heels of LVMH attempting to pull out of a deal to acquire Tiffany & Company for a whopping $16.2 billion, $135 share, and the initiation of a legal battle by Tiffany, the parties agreed to a renegotiated deal, in which LVMH will acquire all of Tiffany's share for $131.50 each, in furtherance of a $15.8 billion transaction. Phoebe Philo. In conjunction with an announcement that former Celine creative director Phoebe Philo will launch her own label, LVMH revealed that it has taken a minority stake in the soon-to-launch label. The size of LVMH's minority position and the terms of the deal have not been disclosed. Off-White. LVMH announced that it will take a 60% stake in Virgil Abloh's brand Off-White. Abloh will retain a 40% interest and continue as creative director of the brand, which he founded in 2013. Officine Universelle Bully 1803. LVMH acquired Officine Universelle in July 1803, the French perfume and cosmetics company. Nearly 4 years after LVMH first invested in the company by way of its LVMH Luxury Ventures investment fund, the group acquired the Officine Universelle in July 1803. The terms of the deal have not been disclosed. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.